it's important to be around people who, when you say no once,
that's
good.
It.
Like,
that's
don't
it.
pressure somebody.
Yeah, if you need to go, please go.
Yeah.
But
ideally not on the floor.
No.
Plain food I don't think sucks anymore.
Dude, I just eat Biscoffs. Biscoffs is my lunch. Gamers, this channel isn't dead. We're here for episode 2 of the Baton Pass Podcast. I'm Vee.
I'm Steph.
And we're just passing the mic along to each other like a baton with different topics varying from all sorts of things that we're interested in. And today we have an interesting one because post the last episode, we're finally here in New Orleans for a Pokémon event. If you saw the previous episode, you know exactly what we're talking about. And we have a thing or two that we've learned about traveling by car.
Oh, yes, we have. And, you know, I think in the last episode we talked about, it would be so fun to try and record while in the car about travel, which is going to be our topic for today. I thought that would just be so fun. That was not possible.
No.
The thunderstorms were insane.
Yeah.
So
down from Texas, we drove from Texas down to Louisiana and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we drove during an interesting time. There was thunderstorms everywhere. Even before they flew over to our place, there was tornado warnings and stuff like that. It was craziness. So the weather has been wild, but at least we're here. The sun is shining.
We made it.
Everything's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that car ride was kind of insane. We drove about 8 hours to get here. So I figured this would be the episode to just talk about just travel in general, our experiences with it, maybe some crazy wacky stories. And you can let us know down in the comments if you've ever traveled anywhere, whether it be by plane. It doesn't even have to be by car. It could be by boat.
I want to know everyone's preferred mode of transportation because we both fly.
Yeah.
But I have some friends who are very afraid of flying, won't get on a plane.
Right.
You know, car is the way to go. So I'm curious what you all like to travel by, or if you swear by planes, things like that.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is, you know, we were prepared for ways to kind of, if we were to film in the car, we were prepared for, okay, I think we can noise remove some of the rumblings.
Yeah.
You cannot noise remove rain and thunder and lightning.
Yeah.
None of that.
And then on top of that, we were just planning to record this podcast mid-drive. I was totally fine with it, but considering all the heavy rain and high key, the low visibility.
Oh yeah, the fog.
We would have been recording talking like this, but it would just be panic mode in our eyes.
Hi, welcome to Baton Pass. I'm scared for my entire life.
So we decided, hey, in the comfort of our hotel rooms, we got beautiful lighting here. Let's just go with the vibes here and stuff like that. But
I just have to call out, it's not on the camera, but to the side of us, V has all the furfrou forms in plush form. So yeah.
Yeah, I spoilers, but I bought a bunch of Pokémon merch. And they're very, very cute.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, that's which form is that one with the little green outfit? Does it have a name?
Oh man, they all have names, but I'm not sure of them.
That's all we'll say about NAIC. We promised we'd save it for a future episode where you'll hear all the tea about NAIC since our first day, but we want to talk about the trip itself.
Yeah.
How experienced are you when it comes to road trips and traveling?
Pretty good, actually. And I thank my wife for that, if you want me to be honest, because I've done the cross-country trip to go and live with her, but then we've done a big car ride from Texas to California, and that was
How long is that?
Depends on how fast we're going and if we stop or not or anything like that, because the last time we did that trip, we did hotel stays for a couple of days. So it took a couple of days. But if you're just straight shotting, you can theoretically get there in just under 24 hours or something like that. Oh my God.
I couldn't do that.
That's an estimate. That's an estimate. But yeah, it's really bad.
You need to take breaks. I know a couple of people, especially when you're in the Midwest and some of this area. I have a friend who's local here, and they've said, it's only a 15-hour drive. Only a 15-hour drive. That's a lot. I think 8 hours is a nice sweet spot because it's like a work day in a weird way. I mean, it's exhausting if you're the one driving, which we were not the main drivers.
When I was a kid, we used to take frequent drives from where I used to live in New York City, and we would drive all the way down to Virginia.
Yeah,
and that wasn't that long at all. It was 6 to 8 hours,
Yeah.
depending on how my dad was feeling and stuff like that. But if he was just like zooming and there was no traffic, we can
Right.
get there in like 6 hours, which is crazy.
That was like, I used to travel a lot to Montreal, and I used to live in Montreal, but when going from New Jersey to Montreal, if there's no traffic, 6 hours.
Yeah.
It's just one road practically the entire time.
Is it from tri-state up
Yeah.
to Montreal?
Yep.
I see.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah. You just go up, you pass what is it, upstate New York.
Okay.
And then I think there's a fork in the road, and at one point there's some really big lake, and if you go down the road of the big lake, you're gonna not make it to Montreal. But if you go the other direction, then you're good to go.
I've been to Canada one time, and that was when I was like in the single digits, surely.
Yeah.
And we visited Niagara Falls.
Oh, Niagara Falls
Yeah.
is great. That's where you can get ice wine.
What?
Yeah. Have you had ice wine before?
No. What is
Okay,
that?
let me educate you about ice wine. And it's relevant to traveling to Canada. So it's made from frozen grapes. So you can only get it. Well, someone who's a wine enthusiast might be able to correct me. But some of the places, it has to be cold enough weather because the grapes have to freeze in the vineyards.
Okay.
And so Canada and parts of France are the main places where you get it. So near Niagara, it gets cold enough in the wintertime that you get this really nice dessert wine. So that's what a lot of people do is they see Niagara Falls and they go to vineyards and you get ice wine.
It's called ice wine?
Yeah, it's a type of wine. Yeah, it's really good. And
What the
expensive,
heck?
sadly. You get a small bottle. It's a bit more expensive, but
Well,
great.
I mean, to reiterate, I went in my single digits one time to
Yeah.
Canada. So, no, we didn't have any
I
wine.
can be your Canada encyclopedia, at least for that part of Canada. 'cause
Please tour guide me.
Yes.
Oh, it's a wine? It's for real?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you were lying, but I'm like,
Vee
what?
never believes me. I can't believe it.
It's a rare and, well, apparently the overview says it's a rare and luxurious dessert wine made from grapes that freeze naturally on the vine during the winter.
Yep.
What?
Now you know.
Okay.
Today you've learned.
Well, shoot, I might have to
I
give that
say
a try.
this, and I am not even that much of an
You're not a drinker at all.
a drinker
Yeah.
much. New Year's, I'll have a champagne, or if I'm
Ooh.
given ice wine. The thing is, I love sweets and
Yeah.
chocolate, and ice wine is the closest to like a chocolate wine. It's not. It doesn't taste like chocolate at all, but the sweetness, the level of sweet.
Have you ever had an espresso martini?
Yes.
Okay.
I have.
Cool.
So yeah, those are all right too.
Those are,
all right.
and then I like, I know it's basic. Don't, you know what? I'm going to say this, shut up, okay? But lemon drops. Lemon
I don't
drops.
think I've had that.
It's like, it doesn't taste like alcohol at all. And it's like, it's pretty sweet. In my opinion, I think it's pretty sweet. That's like my go-to. I'll be like, can I have a lemon drop martini? And I just, it's an easygoing, like, you know,
Right.
yeah. And I don't even down it. Sometimes I just sip and like, that's it. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, those are like my two like fun drinks, you
Right.
know, because I don't do shots anymore. That's just something that I can't do anymore. Like I remember back when when we first turned 21, I was
Yeah.
just like, woo, like going crazy. But I don't do that stuff anymore. I'm grown. I'm also tired.
I see, because I never, we're just gonna segue into talking about drinks because that's
Hey.
actually kind of fun. That's why we Baton Pass.
This is why
topics.
this is why this podcast exists, so we could just bounce off it. And now we're talking about this. Go.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny. So you know how I said I wasn't much of a drinker?
Yes.
So the problem is the few times I did, I never learned what my limit was
Oh.
because I never drank enough. So every time I drank,
Yeah.
I threw up. I felt horrible.
No.
I practically blacked out. But thankfully I was
Yeah.
always in a safe place. You know, if you're
Yeah.
ever drinking, especially if you're nervous to drink, like be around people
Be
you
around
trust.
people.
You know, it's so important. And I only ever drank really at home or at someone's house that I knew.
Yeah.
You won't catch me at a bar drinking ever, but I'll hold. Actually, you know what? This is a tip for all you out there who feel pressured into drinking.
Yeah.
If you just hold the same drink the entire night, people won't say like, "Oh, you need another drink." People won't pressure you that way.
But that's also another thing too. I mean, this is just my
Yeah.
opinion. If you're being pressured to drink, that's not a good environment for you to be in.
True.
I feel like you should
Yeah.
be in a safe place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like most of the time, like for example, I have friends that just be like, I don't drink. And sometimes I forget. I'll be
Yeah.
like, do you want anything? And then I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's the end of it.
Right.
Don't pressure them. Try it. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that kind of stuff, you know?
That's such a good point because I think growing up, sometimes I had people who cared about me, but did fall into like the
Yeah,
peer
the peer
pressure
pressure,
of
yeah.
like, no, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to be around people who, when you say no once,
Then
that's
that's
good.
it.
Like,
That's
don't
it.
pressure somebody.
Yeah, it's so bad. I
Yeah.
mean, luckily my 21st birthday was very nice. Back when I used to work, fun fact, I used to work at Disney, and I had a lot of friends who were older than me.
Right.
So when I had just turned 21, I had a bunch of like late 20s to like 30-year-olds, and they were like, girl, we got you. Don't worry about it. And one of my first drinks was a Bailey shot. Have you ever had Bailey's?
I forget what that is.
It's kind of like, it's like Irish, but it tastes like coffee.
Oh, nice. Oh, like an Irish cream?
Yeah, sure.
I think, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They were just like, just have this.
Yeah.
Did not taste like alcohol at all, and I think I downed like 8 of them or something like that. It was crazy, but they kept asking me, it's reassurance.
Yeah.
They were older, they were more experienced, so they were like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Do you want another one? And then they stopped me the second I started getting like a little wobbly and couldn't walk, and and they were like, okay, we're gonna take you home. Like, it's cool.
My first experience, at one point in the night, someone just starts braiding my hair, and I didn't know why. And it was to save my hair for when I puked later that night. They were like, you're going to thank me for this later. I had no idea what they were talking about. And my hair survived.
That's
it didn't get destroyed.
That's awesome. Yeah. Shout out to the women that hold the hair back when that happens. Yeah. Because sometimes it just doesn't sit well.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can eat something and then drink something after, and then it doesn't mesh. It has nothing to do with, I drank too much or whatever. It just doesn't mesh with what you ate previously. And so you just get messed up. So yeah, that's a thing.
Good stories. But on to our road trip. I think we should tell everyone a little bit about how it went.
Yes.
I saw lightning in 4K for the first time. Let me paint the scene for you all. It was, 4 of us in the car. We're having a good time. Actually, we were sitting in the back seat because we were thinking, can we record the podcast before the thunder and lightning?
In the meantime, I'll look up Bailey so you can see it.
I want to see. And so, we started to hear the thunder rumblings. And I think me living in the Pacific Northwest now for the last while, I forgot how scary thunderstorms can be. It really like humbles you to be able to travel and see different parts of just the world, different parts of the US, wherever you happen to be, because it gets you used to different climate. But you were telling me the trick about you count after you hear thunder, and that's how close the lightning is.
I don't know how true this is, but it was something that I was taught as like, maybe they just made it up, and like the adults like lied to me this whole time. the adults of my childhood. But yeah, apparently when you see lightning hit, you count by the second.
Yeah.
And let's say you count to 6.
Yeah.
And then you hear the thunder at the 6-second mark. That means it's 6 miles away from you.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know how true that is.
Yeah.
But that's something I just like to do. So it's like, I'll be like 1, 2, and then it goes, I'm like, oh, it's close. And usually it kind of matches because the louder it is, the closer it is to you. Duh, obvious is obvious, but yeah. That was crazy, wasn't it?
It was right in front of us. It seemed to be like a mile away. It was right there, and it grabbed the ground.
It's funny because at home, when I'm home, I have a crazy anxiety for lightning and thunder. Crazy. It's like, but when I'm on the road, I'm usually chill. It's the low visibility of heavy rain that gives me anxiety, that bumps me up, and I'm like, okay, we could not make it. We could not make it to New Orleans. There's that thought in the back of the head and stuff like that.
We braved the thunderstorms by car, which means we didn't have a delayed flight, which we've been hearing that's also been a thing to get into this area.
So we're obviously here for a Pokemon event. We have a lot of Pokemon mutuals that had to deal with the delays from said storm that we were driving past.
Yeah.
It was really, really hectic. And even today in the hotel, there was like, we just walk out the lobby and there's just like a long line of people just trying to check in. It's crazy. It's crazy out here. But people made it safely. So, that's a thing.
But and that got us thinking, airports.
Yeah.
And so even though we didn't take an airport to get here, you tend to have a lot of experiences and opinions about airports. We were talking about this before we started filming. I think we need to tier list airports. I think we're not going to put up a graphic or anything like that. We're here for the audio experience.
Yeah.
But what is the best airport in your opinion?
I mean, I told you, but you guys don't know. Yeah. It's LGA, and I know that's controversial.
I gasp because
controversial.
LGA is the airport that has construction 24/7. Is there still construction there?
I don't think so. I think I think it's done. If anything, the construction that exists is not the terminal that I'm at. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the, so
I remember my first Japan trip coming back, I landed at LGA. And
what year was
2018.
That? Oh, see, that's why. That was almost 10 years ago.
Orange. Everyone, don't remind me. Time is passing.
Almost 10 years ago. Yeah, now it's like completely revamped.
Really?
There's like an indoor like fountain thing from like ceiling to floor, and it looks beautiful. And they have like all these different shapes that the fountain makes and stuff like that. There's like all sorts of new shops and whatever. And I'm just
what makes something an S tier airport to you? What are your criteria?
Space,
Okay.
Open space, cleanliness.
Like especially bathrooms, right?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I'm really bad at public bathrooms. I have, it is an anxiety. Like I'm just like it has to be a safe bathroom for me to go to and whatever. So usually I'll have my wife go to the bathroom and then she'll
scout it.
And then, and then I'll be like, is it still okay? And she's like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
So and then I'll be like, oh, okay. Yeah. So I have a really bad anxiety. But so usually I don't, which is a bad idea. If you need to go, please go.
Yeah.
But
ideally not on the floor.
No. I haven't seen that yet. Maybe it will. Who knows?
Yeah.
But just open space, cleanliness, and I don't know. It has to be a vibe.
I think
you know what
food
I'm saying?
spots is also an S tier level experience because at least in the Seattle airports, it's roulette. Which
have you been to LAX?
Only by layover.
So you stayed in there. So
yes.
Or like and did you eat there? Do you remember?
I don't think so because
okay.
It was one of those long travel days, and I think I had a 2-hour layover. And actually, I don't know. When I'm traveling, my mind goes blank. I'm on a mission, and I'm on a mission for either coffee or to find my gate. Those are the two things I want.
Okay, are you the person that finds the gate first before doing anything?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. It's something that's like just make sure it exists.
Yes,
make sure that this gate exists and it has where your destination that you're going to. And then you're like, okay, cool. Now let's look around.
Especially when I'm traveling alone, because if I'm traveling with someone, I'm a little bit easier. But I've got to get through TSA.
Yeah.
Actually, okay, that's another thing for an S tier airport. The airports nowadays are starting to have those machines at TSA where you don't have to take your laptop out. Especially for us, we got these 2 microphones we were using right now. I had to put them in a bag, for TSA through the airport. So yes,
if it's like a smooth experience through TSA, I guess that's a plus too.
Yeah,
because I don't have the
pre-check.
TSA. I don't have that. Yeah. No. Though, I mean, I guess shout out to you if you do.
You travel enough that you'd probably get stuff out of it.
I guess. I don't know. I just never thought of it. We get there at a time where we're not rushing.
Stressed,
So it's like, that's another thing.
Right.
Please don't get there. I don't understand the mentality of people who arrive like maybe an hour before their flight. And I'm just like, you're crazy, dude. I don't know why. Obviously circumstances, right? Anything can happen. But I'm also like, how did it get to that point? I
had actually this past year when I was in Vegas for Level Up Expo.
That's right.
I accidentally had one of those experiences because my flight was at taking off at 9 a.m.
Okay.
And I mixed it up in my brain. I think I was tired because I was exhibiting at a convention, working it. And I was like, oh, my flight's at 9. Yeah. So if I leave at 7, that's 2 hours before. No, that's not how I should have thought about it. I was like, oh, I leave at 7, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I guess in my sleepy brain, if I'm leaving at 7, first of all, I need to be up and ready before then. And so what ended up happening is I look at the time, I wake up at 6:45. And by the way, if my flight takes off at 9, boarding is at 8.
Yeah, that's right.
So that means I have to be 2 hours before 8, not before 9.
Yeah. Oh, you wait the 2 hours? Like you get there early and then just like...
Yeah, usually. But that's okay. I'm used to a lot of international flights. For those of you who don't know, I am Canadian. And so I used to go back and forth between Canada and the US. And I still do. So I'm always thinking of international travel times.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I got to make sure that like I'm there. Yeah. And so then I realized, oh my God, I'm going to get there so late. And so I end up leaving at 7, get there around 7:15, which you'd think, okay, that's less than an hour before an 8:10 boarding time.
Right.
But what ended up happening is apparently the time I picked was right when everyone was leaving after a big convention and a big event. I almost missed the flight.
Oh my God.
I was in the parking lot.
You had to go through all of the
stuff. The line for TSA was in the parking lot of the airport.
Holy crap.
And thankfully they shut down like TSA pre-check. They had all gates. Every employee was working.
Yeah.
And I
all hands on deck kind of situation.
Barely made it.
Holy crap.
I literally 5 more minutes, I would have missed the flight.
Oh my
like the
God.
last call for boarding.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
I would have not made it. That's crazy.
Have you ever missed a flight?
No. If anything, it's like, oh, you know what? Well, how do I explain it? It's one of those where it's like it got delayed so much that they just had to cancel the flight kind of situation.
Oh, what?
You know what? Like after like a couple of hours of delays,
They just
like
cancel your flight?
because it's like either the crew like gives up or something like that. They're just like, I'm not. Yeah, and they leave because I guess it's like they have a shift or whatever the heck. So they're like, all right, well, our time's up. See ya. And so they leave us stranded. What trip was that? I forgot what trip it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had to give me like a voucher to stay at like a Holiday Inn or something like that. Yeah.
Hotel. I can't speak.
But you said Vegas. I actually like that airport.
Yeah.
Yeah. That airport's pretty
good when you're not in the parking lot.
That's true.
But in terms of stuff, well, you can kind of gamble. They have the casinos in there.
I will never forget that because I think the first time I went to LA or not LA to Las Vegas was for Pokémon Go or something. It was for something.
There was a Go tour in Vegas.
Yes.
Yep.
And so it was like one of my first times in the Strip ever. And I had to text my mom. I texted my mom. I couldn't believe it. I was like, Mom, literally a casino or like a slots machine. Yeah. The second you step out, welcome to Vegas. And it's just right there, not even leaving the airport. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
And I've heard, this is a myth, this is not factual, but I've heard that the odds are rigged more in your favor because they want you to feel like hyped and then spend more money in Vegas. I had somebody who I knew who when they landed and I met up with them at the convention, they said, I won $1,200 at the airport.
Do you believe in the like this is your slot machine? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
that whole mentality. Like
destined machine.
I've seen like ladies like get mad that someone else is using their machine, and I'm just like, it doesn't have your name on it, like kind of situation. I mean, I'm not saying that to them, but it's like sometimes I see it. It's like people get upset if you're using their machine.
Do I believe in that? Well, the funny thing is,
I don't know if you gamble like that, like Vegas.
No,
slots.
I'm a big chicken. See, in video games and in gotchas online where there's currency, I'm in. I'm all in. I've got the gambler tag in Final Fantasy 14. That's
You've gotta be kidding.
That's my tag.
You've gotta be
I have over 100 hours just in the gold saucer. Like, I'm happy because it's not real money. The moment it becomes real money,
you get scared.
I don't have that kind of FU money.
I just have a limit. I limit myself. Yeah.
There was one time I was so proud of myself. I won $30 in blackjack. And then I didn't want to spend because I was like, I'm positive.
I like the game. I don't even know what it's called. What is it called? Is it called roulette? The spinny thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where the ball has to land on whatever and then you put your chips on.
Yeah.
Oh, is it going to be red? Is it going to be... I like that one. Yeah. Because like the odds are better versus like an actual electronic machine in the slots that is like it feels rigged. It feels rigged versus like this is a person like regulating like the whole thing and whatever, which they can rig it too, surely. But I don't know. It feels better to me. Yeah, I don't gamble that much though.
No. Well, what was I gonna say? I totally lost my train of thought. But yeah,
you were talking about FF14, Gold Saucer,
critically acclaimed MMO, Final Fantasy 14. How many episodes can I talk about this MMO?
I cannot wait.
I remember what I was gonna say. There you go. It's about my weakness though in Japan are the crane games. Oh, not technically gambling.
It is
a little bit.
It is.
I think it cost me 4,000 yen to get the Suica watermelon.
That's right. I did see that.
And we're talking, for those of you who have not been to Japan, it's 100 yen for one attempt.
Which is like less than $1.
Yeah.
But you spent 4,000?
Yeah, so I think that's
like around $35.
Which it was a big plush, so I think it was worth it. But that was so many tries. Like when you think about it, it's 100 per to get to 4,000. Someone do that quick math in the comments and let me know. But that was a lot of tries.
Just gonna.
Yeah.
This is Bailey's, by the way.
The
Irish cream.
I think I have had this.
It's actually really good.
I think I just call it an Irish cream though,
it's
and not
literally an Irish cream liqueur kind of thing. And I just like I just drink it straight. Yeah. I don't know if there's like a way to do it, but like it's very delicious.
Okay. On the drinking topic, when someone's like, you want it on the rocks?
Oh yeah.
I was so embarrassed the first time someone asked. I was like, I don't know what that means.
It's with ice.
Yeah, now I learned that means like extra cold.
With
ice.
With ice.
Yeah.
We have these again, we don't drink that often, but we have the fancy like ice trays
Yeah.
that it makes it look like a sphere instead of like a square.
Yeah.
So it's like we have the big sphere, and so it's like we'll pour like a little something, little,
Yeah.
but like a little bit, and then we put that big sphere of ice in the
Right.
glass. So then it's more water.
Yeah.
Then, and then you just do a little, just
Right.
just have it real nice, and you don't get crazy off of that.
Right.
It's just a little bit, and you're good.
Yeah.
It's a good time. I feel like, yeah. I'm not saying you should drink. I'm peer pressuring you right now. No.
Well,
but I think socially,
yeah.
it's more fun
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like it's no pressure. And most of the time, me and my wife, we just have like one
Mhm.
glass, and then it's like, I'm
Feeling good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel a little silly, and then it's like, if I yap too much, that's how you know. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, she's getting somewhere. But then
Yeah.
But then after a couple hours, I'm just like, and I'm back.
You're back to the regular routine.
Literally. Oh my gosh. So yeah.
Is there, when you
Yeah.
travel, do you have a checklist of like types of food you want, or like a go-to, I want to try this type of thing?
It depends. I guess it depends on where I go, right? It's like if I go to Japan, I am having sushi.
Yeah.
That is not up for debate.
Yeah.
And I'm having ramen.
Yeah. Of
Like
course.
authentic, not that instant noodle
Yeah.
crap,
Yeah.
Like I'm having the legit broth, like they made it just this morning, that kind of stuff. I eat that up. I don't know if I do it everywhere because like we're in New Orleans and we had
Right.
Vietnamese, so it's like there's that
but
too.
we had the Cajun style
That's true.
food, seafood. I had shrimp gumbo.
Yeah,
while
and then
I've
you
been
had
here.
the crawfish etouffee.
That was
that
awesome.
was the thing that you
That
liked.
was S tier.
Yeah.
That was so good. Also, I had crab cake Benedict.
Mhm.
Oh, if I had to pick one breakfast food for the rest of my life, it would be an eggs
Well, we can go there
Benedict.
tomorrow.
I'm in. I'm in. Oh my gosh.
But you still haven't tried beignets, which is kind of like a dessert. It's like a very
Ooh.
powdery sugar on top of fried dough, and it's super good.
Ooh.
If you ever had, I guess I haven't had it yet, but it reminds me of funnel cake.
Oh, okay.
It
Yeah, I know that
reminds me
face.
of that.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if it tastes like it. People
Yeah,
are gonna be
yeah,
like, "V, what the hell are you telling her?" and stuff like that. We'll catch you up in the next episode if we ever try it.
Yeah.
So it'll be my first time too.
Oh.
So yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be
But
delicious.
it's like you're in New Orleans, you have to. It's like you have to. So I felt betrayed because I've been here last year and I didn't even have one.
Right.
And so I'm like, we left without having beignets. No.
Oh.
So now we have to do it. Yeah.
It's gonna be so delicious.
What is the best airport you went to? Do we answer that?
Oh yeah,
because I
let's
said
go back to that.
LGA.
Let's pass it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. I mean, okay. I think the best airport's Haneda in Tokyo.
Okay.
That's like the 5 floors where
Haneda? Is that what it's called?
Haneda. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
The H one.
The H-
HDA.
Not the Narita.
Yeah.
Not Narita. The
Yeah.
other one.
Yeah, because the thing about that airport, and I would rank that S tier because I
Okay.
could spend all day there and not feel annoyed.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I
Japan
want.
airports are so quiet too.
Yeah,
So
but there's just there's like restaurants that are really nice. I think there's even chill spots. There might even be spas in there. I wouldn't be surprised. I know you can try on kimonos. You can do so many different
Ooh.
things. I think that's the best airport. But I have to say, coming back from Jersey Go Fest, Newark Airport got an upgrade.
Yeah.
Newark Airport, I think, is ranked really low.
I think that's what
usually.
happened. I think the tri-state or the New York / New Jersey related airports got an upgrade. I
Yeah.
think that's what happened.
Because all of a sudden there was a Terminal A. When I used to live in Jersey and there was
Yeah.
no Terminal A. It was always Terminal B, and
Yeah.
that's it. All of a sudden I had to go to Terminal A, and I was like, "What is this? It's new.
It's beautiful.
It's shiny.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
I can't believe it." So
I appreciate a new airport.
Yeah.
I appreciate or a new terminal,
Yeah.
a new upgrade or a revamp and stuff like that.
especially because I don't know about you, but every time things are under construction, I think I'm not going to see that in my lifetime. By the time it's ready, which I mean, big shout out to the people who work on the infrastructure
I
of
agree.
these buildings
I
and work
agree.
so hard, but it takes so long sometimes that I think, we're never going to see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I
Here
blink.
it is.
Yeah.
Where else have I been to? It's like there's
Other
just so-
airports.
yeah. I mean,
Oh, I was going to say the thing about SeaTac is that it's kind of
Okay.
roulette in terms of which part is the best.
I
Because
see.
in terms of coffee shops and places, and I know the A and C concourses are pretty good in terms of, you want options for food, you can get it. But then if you're in like N, I think it's N, I don't know, it's N or S. It's one of those concourses that I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm stranded. There's nothing here.
Yeah.
I don't like being in this one.
Well,
So-
what do you think good airport food exists? if that makes sense.
Yeah, like
Because there's something about people are like, it's airport food.
I think in the last decade that's changed a lot. I
Yeah.
think the quality has
Okay.
gone up.
Okay.
Because even people used to say plain food sucks. Plain food I don't think sucks anymore.
Dude, I just eat Biscoffs.
yeah.
Biscoffs is my lunch. That's what it is.
Yeah.
What food are we eating in the
Yeah,
airplane?
yeah.
You eat food in the airplane?
Well, if you travel more than 6 hours, they have to feed you.
I mean, yeah, international, I
Yeah.
guess so.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. I was under the
Okay.
impression that for a long international flight, you're on crackers the whole time.
No.
It's good. When I went to Amsterdam, food was good.
Ooh.
When I went to
I didn't know. Oh, yeah, you did go to Amsterdam, TwitchCon, right?
TwitchCon,
Wow.
yeah. When I went to,
I still haven't
I've
been
been to
there.
Germany. Germany feeds you on their flights.
I've been to a little bit of Europe, but it was only during my teenage years.
Where did you go?
So, fun fact: me and my cousin are 2 months apart.
Oh,
so we
nice.
both celebrated our 16th birthday, and so
Aw.
it turned out to be a whole big family trip thing.
Yeah.
They were like, let's just all take a trip
Right.
to celebrate instead of doing like a Sweet 16
Yeah,
party or something
yeah.
like that. They were like, let's go somewhere. So we did a cruise around the Mediterranean
Mm-hmm.
Sea. So it was a lot of like Italy. It was a lot of it was a lot of Italy. We went to this
Yeah.
island called Malta, which was very
Ooh.
gorgeous. I think about that place. Like it's one of the core memories. I think about that
Yeah.
a lot. But yeah, a lot of Italy, like a little bit of France, but I couldn't even tell you where we were at.
Aw.
Yeah, but it was a lot of Italy, Rome, and Pisa,
Yeah.
and those kinds of places.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's 2 places on my bucket list. Greece, because I have Greek family. I'm part
Oh,
Greek.
yeah.
I'm half Greek. And Paris/France. I would love to go to both.
I think of Greece, and I think of this is so niche. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry, but I think of a Sonic Unleashed course, like one of
Yeah?
the running
Is
courses.
there one that's in Greece?
It's like literally level 1.
Really?
Because Sonic Unleashed is all the levels are inspired by different areas in the world.
Oh, I haven't played Sonic Unleashed.
Yeah, level 1 is Greece like themed.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's so good, and like it's just a beautiful
yeah.
place for Sonic to run to, I
Yeah.
guess. So that's the only thing I think of when I think of Greece.
Yeah. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
When did Sonic Unleashed come out? Is it new or is that an older?
2008.
Oh no, okay, that's an older
I think.
Sonic game.
Yeah, it came out, or I played it on the Xbox 360.
Right.
Shout out to that.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I mean, there's one for like Africa, there's one for like China.
Yeah.
There's like there's actually I think it's New York, and then there's one for London, which is like
Yeah.
the iconic
Yeah.
one and stuff. Which I went to London one time, which was for the Pokemon World Championships. Did not explore at all.
No,
you know what
really?
you know what I explored? The XL Center.
Oh,
The XL Convention Center.
No.
So I didn't see any Big Ben. I didn't go to any pubs. I didn't do anything. So now I feel like I didn't go to London, if that makes sense. So now I'm like,
you
I
gotta
gotta
go back.
Yeah.
So I learned a valuable lesson when I went. My first London trip was also for the London
Yeah.
World Championships, but I actually went a couple days before because at the time my work was actually headquartered in London.
I was
So
right, 2008, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, so I asked my job and I said, hey, like the World Championships, I want to take some time off. Can I work out of the London office, and work out of London for, the couple days leading up? And they were like, sure. And I'm like, you're the best. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I ended up going a couple days early, but my first hotel was right near Heathrow Airport.
Yes.
And what I didn't realize
I don't like that airport.
that one's also a roulette because it's either no one's there and it's smooth sailing or it's hellish, inferno, terrible.
I hate it.
It's also partially outside at one point, and I remember that was one of my first experiences seeing one of those airports that are half outside.
I'll talk about another airport after your story.
But anyway, so I leave Heathrow and I stayed at an airport, not realizing that Heathrow's like an hour and a half away from the
actual like
I guess tourist
the-
attractions in
yes,
London
yes,
proper.
yes.
So I was like, it's in London, so this hotel will be fine. No, I think it was 2 hours by train from the Excel Center where I stayed at first.
gosh.
So I ended up having to move hotels. But shout out to my good friends in the anime club who are my London reps. Actually, one of my Twitch mods found us and said, I will show you where to go by train to get everywhere, but I was so lost.
Oh my gosh.
And so moral of the story is when someone says I'm in London, that could be like a 2-hour radius.
Wow.
Like when people say I live in LA and it's also a
that is,
2-hour
all over.
radius.
Yeah,
it's the
all over
same
the
thing
place.
with London's huge.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my it's not a bucket list, but it's definitely like I would love to visit is Stonehenge.
Oh, where is that?
I actually don't know. but I wanna see it.
You got to get a Stonejourner there.
Yeah,
Is that exclusive there?
Yeah. Mhm.
I love that so much.
I'm gonna say like where is? Oh yeah, but then I'll talk about my story. But yeah, I want to visit London again so bad.
Yes.
Where it is in England.
Oh,
Salisbury Plain in Wiltshire.
there you go.
Couldn't tell you where that is. Sorry, Europeans. I apologize. Sorry, Londoners.
Actually, can you even say Europeans? Because
Oh yeah,
Brexit.
I'm so confused.
Wait, no. Hold on. We're so uneducated. I'm so sorry.
We're ignorant.
Europe,
Canadians and Americans.
There's Europe, the continent. So there's the European Union.
I don't
but then
know
there's
anymore.
Europe, the continent.
I want to go to Stonehenge. I want to revisit London.
Yeah.
Because I really do want to experience it. I know people are like, the Big Ben, who cares?
Right.
But I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to see the palace and like those guards with like the big hats and stuff like that. I know it's like super touristy. And again, as someone from New York City, I can relate. It's like, who cares about Times Square? But it's like, I still want to see it. Okay.
It was so funny. So when I went to a McDonald's close to that first hotel near Heathrow, and having an American accent is rare. So I was chatting, and I can be a little loud, just a little bit when I'm talking with my friends.
Yes.
So some of the employees overhear me talking, and they come over to me, and they're like, "Where are you from? Like, you're not from around here." They clocked me immediately, and they were so entertained by just me being very outgoing and willing to talk to everybody.
I mean, that's what happened a little bit when I moved to Texas, because
really?
I still had a pretty strong like New York accent.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would just be at a restaurant and whatever, and they'd be like, "Where are you from?" And like they're trying to figure it out, and I was just like, so now it's like a mix of New York and LA and stuff like that, and that all gets integrated and stuff like that. So I don't even know what accent I have anymore.
Yeah.
But that exists. Oh yes. So you were talking about the airport being outdoors.
Yes.
There is an airport in Hawaii, because remember we took that trip, but I went to the Big Island. That airport is all outside.
The whole thing?
The whole thing is outside.
What?
It is tiny. It is like such a tiny airport, because not a lot of people go to the Big Island.
Right.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Maybe it's just because it was outdoors and it just felt so like, you know,
Yeah.
maybe on a rainy day it probably sucks, but I don't know.
That
like
seems
that's
amazing.
that airport is up there for me, I would say.
I saw pictures of your trip to that island, and you climbed a volcano mountain?
It was
something like that.
I can't think of the details at the moment. I want to say it's still active, but yeah, it's like we were super high up.
It's where the observatory is in Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And it all comes back to Pokémon.
Always. I think that's another reason why Baton Pass is the best name of all time, is that for our podcast, because it's supposed to be subtle, not directly Pokemon, but it always comes back to that. And I think the spirit of that is in our podcast name, which is cool.
I agree. But gosh, I love travel. So like Stonehenge is a place I want to go to. Again, I want to like just visit England/London and stuff like that. I want to try a beer there, like straight up, like pure, maybe a local one. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I want to go to Paris. Yeah. I've never been to Paris before. Yeah. So like that, which again, it's like typical tourist crap, but I'm like, I want to. It's like romantic.
I took 5 years of French, and I'm so curious. It's textbook though, right? And I'm curious if I just stayed like 3 months somewhere in France.
You would just learn it.
If I could have enough of the basics where I would just be really immersed and pick it up fast.
I know you say textbook, but can you like for real, like you can have a conversation with somebody?
Un petit peu.
What the fuck? Whoa!
A little bit.
I've never heard that. See, the accent changes too.
Oh yeah, I try. See, I think I could fool someone.
Yeah,
I could fool. Actually, comments you can be si vous parlez lentement, je peux comprendre, mais je ne parle pas. I forget the word for fluent, but I basically said if you speak slowly, I can understand you.
Holy crap!
But I'm not fluent.
What?
I forget the word for fluent. Someone tell me.
All I know is Expedition 33's French curse words. That's all I got.
Oh yeah, it's so funny. I was laughing my butt off hearing the way they integrate swears with everything.
Actually, you know, we're gonna talk a little bit about Expedition 33.
I know, we gotta save it. We gotta save it for a full
It's
episode.
no spoilers at all.
Yeah,
but they did a behind the scenes YouTube video of the voice actors, like the English voices, just saying lines and things like that. And the creator of the game, like the director person, he was in the booth. And obviously he's French. He's from France.
Yeah.
So when they say the curse words, he's like, no, you're saying it wrong. You
You
gotta say it like this. And then the English like people, they're like, but I'm saying it right.
No.
And he's like, no, you have to say it like this and whatever. And I'm just like, what? And I don't hear any difference, but yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Well, especially some languages are more they have more sound cues than others. So in French, for example, you have your accents, accent, and you have accent aigu, which is the positive graph, like the like in Pokémon, I think is Anyway, I forget which way the Pokemon, but anyway, there's the accent that's a positive graph, and then accent grave is the
lower accent.
Yeah,
I see.
But like it's like an versus an a, and they make different words, so you have to sometimes sound it out.
That's so weird.
But one of the tips I learned while I was learning a language, granted I'm not fluent at all, but if you learn how to say your ums in another language, it helps you stay in the accent better. Because if you're learning American English, if you do your that's very American. But then in French, the is like that's how people do that.
Yeah.
So if and same with in Japanese, right? When people
go ano.
Ano or and like so if you learn that helps you while you're thinking. It keeps your mouth like prepped for it and primed.
Like in Spanish. Well, I mean, my parents like when they're having a conversation, it's not like I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot of thoughts in the head.
Yeah.
But instead of like, and so they would say like entonces, and then that's how they would get their like stuff together, and and just say whatever the hell that they say. Do we have an Puerto Ricans? Do we have a or a? I don't even know. Anyway, wow.
Do you speak
un poquito?
I love this.
Wow. But this was the first time I heard her French accent. That's wild. That's crazy stuff.
I was president of my French Honor Society in high school.
and look at where you're at now.
And so if someone asked me, here's a sheet of paper, I could read it, but I'm slow at my comprehension.
I see.
So I could read it. I think,
Same. I can listen to someone in Spanish and I can pick up keywords, and then I can figure out what they're saying in a sentence. But if they ask me a question and they expect me to respond in Spanish, that's not happening.
And see, at least with French, the accent I've remembered, but my family is Greek, and so my grandparents,
which is so weird. Because do they have their own language? Am I crazy?
Greek.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, so I'm stupid.
No, it's okay. You haven't been around enough Greek people who will remind you that everything comes from the Greeks. Like that is a stereotype. There's a movie called My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yeah.
Have you watched it?
I haven't seen it.
It's true. But that movie is Greek families.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta watch it.
That movie's so funny.
I'm sorry if I'm ignorant. I'm sorry.
No.
American. Sorry.
Yeah.
Is Mamma Mia also Greek stuff? Or you don't remember?
I listen to the soundtrack pretty regularly, but I haven't seen the movie in a long time. I feel like it is in Greece at some point.
In your comments, let me know.
I don't remember.
Or just tell me, V, you're being silly.
No,
and move on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay, I need to watch My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and I will report back.
Yeah, then we'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about a future episode because my family is literally like that. But so the thing is, my grandparents, very little English. And so, but my accent is so bad. I went to Greek school growing up. I had to learn. But because I don't practice it except when I see my extended family.
I see.
I'm too embarrassed because I can hear that I don't have the accent.
Do you think you sense judgment? Like they're like, she's not speaking the language.
I think I'm the judge. I think I'm the one judging because I think this goes for a lot of people. They like when you try.
Yeah.
Try.
It's true.
Especially because English, takes over everything and everyone ends up having it.
Stupid. It's so dumb. It's like Americans are just like, we can't comprehend a language. Just speak our language.
Though when I lived in Quebec, and Quebec's a bilingual province, so it's French and English.
Yeah.
They could hear I wasn't fluent, and so when I would try to practice my French, which that's a whole other thing. I learned like the Parisian French, like from France.
Yeah.
And so the Quebec French is a little bit different.
Mhm.
And so they hear it. And so then they start responding to me in English because most of them are bilingual.
That means they gave up.
Yeah. They gave up on me. But most of the people though were like, just try, it's okay. But then I think.
But then when you try, they're like,
I think they're trying to make it easier. Like they can see I'm struggling, so they're like, we'll just do this in English. But then I don't get better. I don't get improved.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta sound like crap. First.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just be fluent and perfect like immediately.
Ugh.
Sometimes you have to make mistakes. And
Making
that's the
mistakes
lesson.
in public.
Yeah. In the year of our Lord 2025.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But that's true. That's a good lesson. You
Yeah.
do. You can't expect perfection, and you'll have passive EXP every time you try.
So do you think they're like rude about it? Or is it kind of like when they switch to English and stuff like that?
No, it's just one of those things.
Okay.
I'll start to say something in French and they respond in English, so I just know.
Because that's like, unfortunately, that's like the stereotype is that the French are very rude and stuff. But I mean, I think everyone's nice, you know? So like we know people all around the world. So it's like, you know.
I mean, there's bad eggs everywhere. I think when it comes to food preferences, I do think there's a level of elitism. As someone who lived, in French speaking places, people aren't happy for you. You're like, I had the best pizza. They'll be like, no, you haven't. Have you gone to this spot?
Have you been to New York?
And like, same with like poutine, like have you had this? No, you didn't go here. You got to go to this. Everyone has a spot that's the best spot. And so if you're like, I really enjoyed this, they're like, no, you haven't gone to the right place. Like everyone is always convincing you to go somewhere else.
Is there a place in is it Quebec? No.
That's where poutine
that's where
originated.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's like
you would recommend like eating poutine there?
Yeah, out of everywhere in Canada, yeah.
I see. But like, where you live? Because you said it was like more French oriented.
Yeah.
Was there like a dish there that was like that's the local cuisine or something like that?
Okay, you know what I missed? I missed the most was pizza. So because Montreal is really close to New York.
Yeah.
So you basically get New York pizza. It's all the same body of water, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all the same body of water. So, I love the pizza. That's not really French though, but I think Quebec's known for poutine, smoked meat.
Okay.
Smoked meat's really good. Yeah. You can get in a lot of different places.
Word.
I'm trying to think what else. Actually, there's some parts of Canada that maple syrup, right? So all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, I gotta do that.
That's great.
I gotta have that stuff.
But some pizza, they put the pepperoni and like the meats under the cheese.
Whoa.
So you think it's a cheese, and then you take a bite, and they're like, "Oh, there's peppers and stuff under the cheese." So
what? Okay,
I think that's a Quebec thing. That
I'm gonna have to try that out.
Yeah.
What the heck? Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's so many places to like visit, and like of course things to eat and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess to answer your question, I think I do go out of my way to like try something at least local, right? It's like we're in New Orleans. I was like, I have to have something local, and it's like anywhere that I go. Yeah. So I just haven't. I've been that one time in Canada, and I want to go again.
We gotta tour you around Canada. I think.
Yeah, I need a guide. I need help.
Yeah, I can help you around Montreal and the Toronto areas. Anywhere else, we'll get lost.
Okay, that's valid.
Well, I lived in Toronto for almost 8 years, and people would ask me, "Oh, where should I go when I'm in Toronto?" But also, I'm a gremlin that doesn't leave my house.
Right. Same.
So it would be awkward when people are like, "Where should I go?" And I'm like, to go out to like party or to drink.
There are some people who don't live, like who weren't born and raised in New York, that know better spots than me, the person who was born and raised in New York for over 20 years. And I'm like, where was this place at this whole time? It's crazy. Like people, like, listen, you just look it up. The internet is a very powerful place. Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah. The only parts, the thing I love about Toronto is they have something called the Path, which I think that exists in many cities, like underground walkways.
Yeah.
Especially when it gets really cold. It's nice. That was my most excited thing. And public transportation. You know what? That should be a separate episode where we rank public transportation options.
I got things to say.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I have things to say.
Yeah.
We might leave that for the next one.
Yeah,
but
I think so.
I will say for now, I think this is good.
I like it.
We'll end it off there. We were supposed to talk about travel, which we did for the most part, but we ended up bouncing all over the place as we usually do.
Yes.
I appreciate you guys watching. Again, if you haven't subscribed, subscribed and followed all of the socials literally everywhere. We're literally everywhere and stuff. We would love to know where you've been at, any cuisine that you've enjoyed in the places that you've been to. Do you prefer air? Do you prefer driving? Like, let us know. Do you prefer boat?
That's right.
Do you prefer helicopter?
I have taken an Uber boat before. I'd be curious if others have done that.
Shout out to the Uber boat.
Yep.
But otherwise, we'll see you guys in the next one, y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.